Good Thursday morning, everybody. It is Little Friday, December 29th. I'm Chris Allen here on the Sam channel. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, sponsored by Ace Hardware Marketplace. If you're like me, you've got some sinus issues going on, and it really blows. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It does, because it's just, whew, I told you this change in temperature was going to do it, and it's done it. I know when it happens, old enough to know, have enough experience to know that we go from that kind of cold to this kind of warm. Here go the sinuses, and it's all there this morning. So you're going to hear it on the radio too. I've got a little bit of a lower register in my voice, kind of berry white. Oh, baby. Raw. So, somebody find it sexy? I don't. Oh, boy. All right. So, here we go. We had a good day yesterday, a high of 57 and an average of 47. So, we went, and here's the interesting part about this. The day before, we were 10 degrees below average. Yesterday, 10 degrees above average. And we're going to stay above average for the next several days, as you'll see in the blender coming up. But first, we'll check the satellite radar this morning. High pressure still keeping us fairly dry here at the surface. There's not a lot going on here until you get back further west, and that's where we're beginning to see some light rain showers, but none of that here just yet. The surface flow is out of the south, and we're going to continue to see the flow out of the south. And you can see the clouds, though, are moving more west to east. So we've got a little bit of a crosswind type situation the more you go up from the surface into the higher elevations in the atmosphere. So these are some high and mid-level clouds that are moving in this morning just ahead of our chance of rain that is going to move in. Some of you back here west of Interstate 65 could begin to see some rain even late this afternoon into this evening. We'll check the timing and all coming up here in just a little bit. In the meantime, let's check that model blender. You get to see the next 10 days up front before we get into all the details, and there's a lot of detail to cover. Here we go. Upper 50s, maybe close to 60 today for a high temperature. We're already at 51. 51. No scraping the windshield this morning. No having to defrost your vehicle before you go to work. It's all taken care of thanks to the warmer southerly breezes yesterday. Those breezes at 20 to 30 miles per hour. It's going to be breezy again today, so you can have those warmer southerly breezes, which are going to push us up close to 60. And it's only going to drop off again into the low 50s tonight. Then how about 61 or 2 tomorrow as the rain comes down? Upper 50s to near 60 Saturday. Same thing on Sunday, New Year's Day. And a break from the rain, which I'll show you. But look at those mid 60s, possibly even upper 60s, with another system that is going to come in for Monday into Tuesday. Now, that is the one that I mentioned yesterday. We may have to watch for either some strong thunderstorms or somewhere nearby the possibility of severe weather from the way things look. That's just a big, long range heads up as to what's happening. And then after that, temperatures are going to settle back down to more seasonable numbers. This is where we should be, upper 40s to low 50s. Right on target there for the second half of the first week of January. Into the first weekend in January, Temperatures will be right where they're supposed to be. None of these 60s are where we're supposed to be, not even upper 50s, but certainly not those frigid temperatures that we had a few days ago. That's not normal either, as you well know. All right, let's get into the details now that you know what's coming. Let's take a look at current temperatures from the Kentucky Mesonet Network. And here they are here at 4:49, almost 4:50, away from 5 a.m. on this Tuesday morning. You can see that everybody except for far eastern Kentucky has really warmed up. They're still in the teens, 20s, and 30s. You can tell where the elevation has a big influence on what temperatures are over here in eastern Kentucky. But this morning, everybody else, majority of the state, upper 40s to low 50s. And that's nice. Like I said, you won't have to scrape the windshield. You won't have to turn your vehicle on and let it warm up. It's already preheated and ready to go this morning. Here's a look at future temperatures now. As we get into the next 24 hours, you can even see the warmth. At least this map doesn't look cold anytime soon. So here we are, upper 40s to almost 50 already this morning. We go through the day. Hang on just a second. Let me check. Where's my buttons are not working here? There they go. Okay, I just had to hit them with a little more force. So we go into the upper 50s, and there we go, close to 60. And showing 59 for Bowling Green, but we could easily go 60, 61. Somebody might even be 62 degrees for a high temperature today. Tonight, we're only going to fall off into the low 50s, like 52, 53. So temperatures kind of holding steady a little bit, not falling off that much tonight. And again, it's thanks to that southerly wind flow, because we're going to continue with sustained winds at say 10 to 15, but then occasionally we get these gusts like yesterday, 20 to 30. So that's going to keep us warm, and all the winds are coming from the south. And here we go into Friday. Look at that, 60, maybe 61, maybe 62 for a high temperature, and with rain, of course. That'll be the first system. The first system is actually going to arrive tonight and then be with us tomorrow and part of Saturday. Then we wait and get a break as the second system moves in. In fact, I can show you that. Here is the short range model showing future radar and the way it's going to look. This morning, everything is dry area. So no rain for us today per se until we get into the afternoon hours. And as I mentioned, mainly west of Bowling Green, that's where we're going to see some of the showers begin to pop up. And we're talking about light scattered showers, nothing too organized yet. Here we go into this evening. Then we start to see a little more coverage taking over after dark. Nothing intense. This is just little pockets of shower activity and rain. As we get into the day on Friday, though, here comes more organized rainfall. The heaviest stuff is still going to be back to the west, because what's happening is that front is going to come in, slow down just a little bit, and then just kind of ease back to the west during the day on Friday. So, yeah, we'll get some rain, but the majority of it's going to stick a little bit further west of us. Here we go into Friday afternoon, into Friday evening. Still seeing showers, even lingering into Saturday morning. But it's not going to rain the entire weekend for New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. In fact, New Year's Day, Sunday, looks even dry around here, which is good if you have made plans. But I know some of you have made plans for like late New Year's night. Um, it's going to be touch and go on rain around midnight or early, late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. Here's a look at projected rainfall during that course and time. And this takes us all the way, this accounts for both systems. So don't look at this and think that's coming out of this first system. No, this is actually taking into account the rainfall that's going to start tonight, go through Friday and Saturday, break on Sunday, New Year's Day. Then the second wave is going to come in Monday, Tuesday. This is taking all of that into account, a total of over up to 2.5 inches of rain. That's pretty good amount of rain that we're going to get out of these two systems back to back. And again, the heaviest rains, as you see, are going to be back to the west, where they could get 3 or 4 inches of rain in the Missouri Boot Hill, the Wabash River Valley, far western Kentucky, southern Illinois. So, yeah, that's where the majority of the rain is going to hang out over the next several days. Here's a look at the surface map, and we'll go day by day the next 7 days and show you how this is going to play out. Very dry today with high pressure in control, but here comes our abundant Gulf moisture. We're going to see, excuse me, some pretty good thunderstorms and pockets of heavy rain down south of us. Warm front is going to keep us not necessarily windy, but breezy and warm today. By this evening, we'll start to see the rain creeping in from our south and west. And then here we go into tonight, into Friday morning. Things slow down, and then high pressure still sitting here trying to eat away at the leading edge of this rain, the Pac-Man effect. But this moisture coming up out of the Gulf is pretty abundant. The flow here is pretty earnest. And so that front, even though it slows down with these waves of low pressure, it's going to keep us in the rain here for Friday into Saturday. There it is. The front slows down. This high pressure wants to hang on and just, keep this thing from moving very much. So we benefit from getting some decent rainfall. Then the front now starts to lay across the Kentucky-Tennessee border, flexing back and forth as these waves and ripples of low pressure right along this front. Imagine this front is like a train track, and these low pressure systems are trains. And so they ride along that track. But in this case, the track can move or wobble kind of back and forth like a wave. And so here it comes in, and then you'll see it retreat a little bit, stall out, retreat back to the north. And then here comes the second system. Now, let me back up just a minute here. This is Sunday. So this is New Year's Day with the front stalled, but the rain appears to be cut off for at least a good 24 hours. So really, Sunday, January 1st, New Year's Day is going to be the best day out of the weekend, the holiday weekend, because by Monday, here comes the next wave of low pressure picking up on the Gulf moisture, and we're into system number 2, Monday into Tuesday. And notice this thing gets wound up and deepens, and it has a negative tilt. Notice it's from the front, it's what we call co-located. In other words, here's the front, here's the triple point between an occlusion, a warm front, and a cold front. But it's taking on this, it's kind of wrapping around itself in what we call a negative tilt. It's like tilting your head, and it's just kind of wrapping around itself. Eventually, this is going to crank out, I think, so not only heavy rain on Monday and Tuesday, but as I mentioned or have mentioned the last couple of days, this is the kind of setup that could produce some strong to severe storms somewhere Not necessarily here, but we've got to figure where this thing is going to track first. Some have it further north, some have it further south. All of that will determine where any severe weather is going to be. We've had severe weather at the beginning of January, the very beginning of last year. Remember? We had the tornado in December, yes, but we had another tornado right out there by Greenwood Mall on New Year's Day last year. Have you forgotten about that? No, it came down right there by the mall and went across Scottsville Road. Um, yeah, did some damage. Thornton's Furniture, remember the whole half of the furniture store, the front of the building came off? They just now got that fixed. Cave Mill Road area, houses there, damage, lots of damage right there in front of Natcher Elementary. Yeah, that was a tornado. Yeah, not a big one, but it was January 1st last year, this year. Yeah, it was 2022 because it was New Year's Day. Well, look at this. This is on the 3rd of January. Last time we had severe weather on the 3rd of January. Let me bring that back. I believe was when the tornado went through Owensboro. Was that 2002? I want to say it was. So see, it's happened. It's happened before. Could happen again. I'm not saying it will, but that front will be right here on us. We'll just have to see how this thing tracks in the next few days. Was it 2000 or 2002? I mean, it just all kind of runs together, but I remember when some of these events took place. I certainly remember the weak tornado that came through the Cave Mill Road area, Greenwood Mall, went across Scottsville Road. That was this past New Year's Day, January 1st, 2022. It's been a year almost. Again, another tornado to think about a year later. Crazy. All right, you guys, I'm headed to the radio station, Sam 100.7, to do the morning show. God bless you. Thank you for watching. Have a great Thursday, and I'll see you on the radio.